I work as a marketing coordinator. I've been here for 3 years. I do good work. I show up on time. I meet deadlines. But I'm not the guy who schmoozes at happy hours or plays corporate politics. I'm invisible in the way that mid-level employees often are, competent enough to keep, not impressive enough to promote. My boss, the VP of Marketing, is brilliant and intimidating. The kind of woman who walks into a room and everyone straightens their spine. She's never spoken more than 10 words to me that weren't directly related to a project. That changed yesterday. At a company happy hour, I found her in the parking lot, drunk, trying to get into her car. The next morning, I expected her to pretend it never happened. Instead, she called me into her office and said 5 words that changed everything. Before we dive in, have you ever seen someone powerful at their most vulnerable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love stories about breaking corporate masks and people who choose to be real in a world that rewards fake, please subscribe so you don't miss our next one. Now let me tell you about the night everything changed, and the morning after that changed everything again. It was a Friday. Company happy hour at some trendy bar in Soma. Exposed brick, Edison bulbs, craft cocktails with names like The Disruption and Synergy Sour. I hate these things. Everyone pretends to be having fun while secretly networking, laughing too loud at the CEO's jokes, complaining about work while simultaneously trying to impress people. But attendance is optional, which means if you don't show up, you get a reputation for not being a team player. So I went, nursed 1 beer for 90 minutes, made small talk with people from other departments whose names I'd forget by Monday. That's when I saw her, Diana Ballard, my boss, VP of Marketing, the woman who runs our entire department with ruthless efficiency and zero tolerance for mediocrity. She was standing near the bar, alone, which was unusual. Diana never came to these things. In 3 years, I'd seen her at maybe 2 company events, and she'd left both within 30 minutes. But tonight, she was here, wearing a black blazer and white blouse, hair pulled back, wine glass in hand. I watched her finish that glass, order another, finish that one, order another. By the time I left, around 8 p.m., early enough to not look antisocial, but late enough to fulfill my obligation, Diana was on her 5th glass that I'd counted. I walked to the parking lot. My car was on the 3rd level. I was halfway there when I heard the sound of keys dropping on concrete. I turned. Diana was 20 feet away, bent over, trying to pick up her keys. She grabbed them, stood up too fast, swayed. She was drunk. Very drunk. And she was walking toward a black Tesla, her car. I should have kept walking. It wasn't my business. Diana Ballard was a grown woman, a senior executive, someone who made 3 times my salary. She didn't need me managing her. But I couldn't. I walked over. "Ms. Ballard." She turned. Her eyes took a moment to focus on me. "Stokes, what are you doing here?" "I was at the happy hour. I'm leaving. Are you okay?" "I'm fine." She turned back to her car. Tried to fit the key fob near the door handle. Missed. Tried again. "Ms. Ballard, you shouldn't drive." "I'm fine," she repeated, sharper this time. "With all due respect, you're not." She finally got the car unlocked. Opened the driver's door. "Go home, Stokes." "I can't let you drive like this." She turned to face me. Even drunk, she was intimidating. "You can't let me? I'm your boss, Stokes. You don't let me do anything." "I know. But if you get in that car, you're going to hurt yourself, or someone else. And I can't just walk away knowing that." "Why do you care?" "Because it's the right thing to do." She laughed. A bitter sound. "The right thing. God, you're young." "I'm 29. Exactly young." She leaned against the car. "Fine. What do you suggest?" "I'll call you an Uber. Get you home safe. Tomorrow someone can bring your car." And if I say no?" "Then I'll call the cops and report a drunk driver about to leave this parking garage. I really don't want to do that, but I will." Diana stared at me for a long moment. Then she laughed again, different this time, almost genuine. You've got spine, Stokes. I didn't know that about you. So, Uber? Fine, Uber. I opened the app on my phone, requested a ride, 5 minutes away. We stood in awkward silence. Diana leaned against her car. I stood a respectful distance away, holding her keys. You know what's funny? She said suddenly. What? I came here tonight to prove something. To myself, that I could be normal, have a drink with colleagues, relax. She gestured at herself. Look how that turned out. Everyone has bad nights. Not everyone is VP of marketing at a company with 800 employees. Not everyone has 100 people watching their every move, waiting for them to slip up. Is that why you never come to these things? One of many reasons. She closed her eyes. God, I shouldn't be talking to you about this. I won't tell anyone. You say that now. I mean it. She opened her eyes, studied my face. Why? Why what? Why do you care? You don't know me. I'm just your boss, someone who signs off on your projects and tells you to redo things when they're not good enough. Why help me? Because you're a person, and people help people. Or they should. The Uber pulled up, black Prius. Driver confirmed it was for Warren. I helped her to the car. She got in the back. I got in next to her. I wasn't going to send her home alone in this state. The drive took 15 minutes. Diana was quiet for the first 5. Then she started talking. You know how many hours I work per week, Stokes? I don't. 70, sometimes 80. You know when I got home last Tuesday? 3 a.m. Because we had a product launch, and the campaign wasn't perfect, and I had to fix it myself because no one else could get it right. That sounds exhausting. It is, but if I complain, people say I'm weak. If I delegate, people say I'm not detail-oriented. If I'm nice, people think I'm a pushover. If I'm tough, people call me a bitch. She laughed bitterly. There's no winning. I'm sorry. I chose this. I wanted the promotion. I wanted the power. I just didn't realize how lonely it would be. I didn't know what to say to that. So I just listened. You know what the worst part is? Diana continued. I can't show weakness. Ever. Because the moment I do, the moment I admit I'm tired, or scared, or barely holding it together, someone will use it against me. Someone will say I can't handle the job, that I should step down, that a man would do it better. That's not fair. No, but it's reality. She looked at me. That's why I can't believe I'm telling you this. Tomorrow I'm going to regret it. Tomorrow I'm going to wish I'd just kept my mouth shut. You don't have to regret it. I won't use it against you, I promise. Everyone says that. I'm not everyone. She was quiet for the rest of the drive. We pulled up to her building. Expensive high-rise. Doorman. The kind of place I couldn't afford in 10 lifetimes. I helped her out of the car. Can you make it inside? Yes, I'm drunk, not incapacitated. Do you have your keys? She fumbled in her purse, pulled them out. Here. I walked her to the entrance. The doorman opened the door, recognized her, nodded politely. Thank you, Stokes, Diana said, for this, and for not leaving me in that parking lot. You're welcome. You're a good person. People aren't usually good. Some of us try. She walked inside. I watched until she got on the elevator. Then I requested another Uber to take me back to the parking garage to get my car. On the ride back, I thought about what she'd said. About loneliness, about everyone watching for her to fail, about not being able to show weakness. I'd never thought about it that way. I'd always seen Diana Ballard as untouchable, powerful, someone who had it all figured out. I'd never considered that maybe she was just as scared and exhausted as the rest of us. She just couldn't show it. I didn't sleep well that night. I kept thinking about Monday, about what would happen when Diana sobered up and realized she'd said all those things to a subordinate. Someone who could theoretically use that information against her. Would she pretend it didn't happen? That's what most people would do. Act like Friday night never existed. Be coldly professional on Monday and hope I took the hint? Or would she be angry? Blame me for forcing her into an Uber? For seeing her weak? Or, and this was the option that worried me most, would she try to get rid of me? Transfer me to another department? Make my life difficult until I quit? I played out a dozen scenarios in my head. None of them ended well. Monday morning I got to the office at 8:45 a.m., my usual time. I made coffee, checked email, tried to focus on a campaign brief that was due Wednesday. At 9:15 an email popped up from Diana Ballard to Warren Stokes. Subject, Meeting Warren. Please come to my office at 10 a.m. Diana. My stomach dropped. This was it. Option 3. She was going to transfer me, or fire me, or make it very clear that Friday night never happened, and if I ever mentioned it, my career was over. I looked at the clock. 9:17 a.m. 43 minutes until my professional execution. Adrian Brady, my desk neighbor, marketing analyst, generally decent guy, rolled his chair over. You okay, man? You look like you're about to throw up. I'm fine. Ballard email you? How did you know? Everyone who gets the come to my office email looks like that. What do you do? Nothing, I think. Well, good luck. Try not to cry in there. She hates that. Thanks. Super helpful. Adrian rolled back to his desk. I stared at my computer screen. Tried to work. Couldn't. At 9:58, I stood up, walked to the elevator. Took it to the 8th floor where the executives had offices. Diana's office was at the end of the hall. Corner office. Glass walls. I could see her inside working on her laptop. I knocked at exactly 10 a.m. Come in. I opened the door. Diana looked up. She was dressed impeccably. Navy suit. Hair perfect. No sign of Friday night's mess. Close the door. Sit down. I did both. She looked at me for a long moment. Then she said, I remember Friday night. Everything. My heart was pounding. Ms. Ballard, She held up a hand. Let me finish. I shut up. I remember that I was drunk, that you stopped me from driving, that you got me home safely, and I remember that I said things, personal things, that I shouldn't have said to you. I won't tell anyone. I promise. I know you won't. If I thought you would, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. I didn't know what to say to that. Diana leaned back in her chair. Warren, I could do what most people in my position would do. I could pretend Friday night didn't happen. It would be easier. For both of us. We could just move on. Forget it. If that's what you want. But I'm not going to do that. She looked directly at me. Because you helped me when you didn't have to. When it would have been easier to just walk away. And you listened to me without judgment. That's rare. Especially in this industry. You were going through something. Anyone would have helped. No. Anyone would have taken a picture and posted it on Slack, or told HR this morning, or used it as leverage later. You didn't do any of that. And I want to thank you for that. You don't need to thank me. Yes, I do. Because in corporate America, vulnerability is weakness. And you saw me weak. You could use that against me, but I don't think you will. I won't. I know. She paused. I also want to apologize for what I said about hating the job, about falling apart. That wasn't appropriate. It was honest. Honesty isn't always appropriate at work. Or maybe it should be. Diana smiled, a real smile. Not the corporate smile she used in meetings, an actual genuine smile. Maybe. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Diana said, So, we're clear? Friday night happened, but it also doesn't leave this room. Absolutely. Good. You can go back to work. I stood up, walked to the door, paused. Ms. Ballard? Yes? Are you okay? I mean, really okay? She looked surprised, like no one had asked her that in a long time. I'm working on it, but thank you for asking. I nodded and left. I expected things to go back to normal after that conversation. Diana would be professional. I'd be professional. We'd both pretend Friday night was a weird anomaly that would never be mentioned again. But that's not what happened. 2 days later, Wednesday afternoon, I was in the middle of writing copy for a new ad campaign when my desk phone rang. Internal call. Extension 8041, Diana's office. I picked up. "This is Warren. Warren, it's Diana. Do you have a few minutes?" "Yes, of course. Come up to my office. I want your opinion on something." I hung up. Adrian looked over. "Ballard again? Dude, what's going on?" "No idea." I took the elevator to the 8th floor, knocked on Diana's door. "Come in." I entered. Diana was standing at her desk, looking at her laptop. "Close the door." I did. "I'm working on the Q4 strategy deck for the executive team. I want a fresh perspective. Come look at this." She turned her laptop so I could see. It was a presentation, 50 slides, marketing initiatives, budget allocations, ROI projections. "What do you think?" she asked. I scanned through it. It's comprehensive, detailed, but if I'm honest, please. Slide 18, the budget breakdown. It's too complicated. The CFO is going to get lost in the numbers. You need to simplify it, make it visual, maybe a chart instead of a table. Diana looked at the slide. "You're right. Good catch." She made a note. "What else?" Slide 32, the competitor analysis. You're spending too much time on what they're doing wrong. Executives don't care about that. They want to know what we're doing better. Flip the narrative. She nodded. "Anything else?" I went through the deck carefully, pointed out 3 more places where messaging could be tightened, or visuals could be clearer. When I finished, Diana was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "This is good feedback. Really good. Thank you." "Happy to help." "Warren?" "Yes?" "Why didn't you ever speak up in meetings before? You clearly have strong opinions about this stuff." I shrugged. "I'm a coordinator. No one asks for my opinion." "Well, I'm asking now, and I'm going to keep asking. So be ready." Over the next 2 weeks, Diana called me into her office 4 more times. Once to review a campaign concept, once to get my thoughts on a new hire, once to ask if I thought a project timeline was realistic, once just to vent about a frustrating meeting with the CEO. Each time, it felt less formal, less like boss and subordinate, more like colleagues. On Friday of the 2nd week, I was working late. Most of the office had cleared out by 7 p.m. I was finishing a presentation for Monday when I heard a knock on the cubicle wall. Diana, standing there with her blazer off, looking tired. "You're still here?" "Yeah, presentation due Monday. Want to get it done before the weekend." Have you eaten?" "Not yet. I was going to grab something after I finish." "I'm ordering Thai food. Want in?" I blinked. "You're ordering food?" "I'm hungry, and I assume you are too. Unless you want to keep working on an empty stomach." "No, Thai food sounds great." "Good. Come to my office in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, I knocked on her door. She waved me in. There were 2 takeout containers on her desk, pad thai and green curry. She pushed one toward me. "Pick whichever you want." I took the green curry. She took the pad thai. We ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Diana said, "Can I ask you something personal?" "Sure." "Why marketing? You're good at it, clearly, but you don't seem like the type who dreams about advertising campaigns." I laughed. "I'm not, honestly. I fell into it. I studied communications in college because I didn't know what else to do. Got an internship at a marketing agency. They offered me a job after graduation. I've been doing it ever since." "Do you like it?" "It's fine. Pays the bills." That's a depressing answer. "Is it?" "Yes. You should do something you love. Life's too short for fine." Says the woman who works 80 hours a week. She smiled. "Touché. But I do love my job. Most days, even when it's exhausting." What do you love about it? She thought about it. I love taking an idea and turning it into something real, something that reaches millions of people. I love the strategy, the problem solving, even the pressure sometimes. It makes me feel alive. That's not depressing at all. She laughed. Okay, maybe a little depressing, but it's true. We finished eating. I stood to leave. Thanks for dinner. Warren? Yeah? Thank you for not treating me differently. After Friday night, a lot of people would have, but you didn't. You're still the same person, just a little more human than I realized. Is that a compliment? Definitely. 3 weeks after the parking lot incident, something shifted. I was in a meeting, marketing team, 15 people, Diana at the head of the table. We were discussing the campaign for a new product launch. One of the senior managers, Greg, 40-something, been with the company for 8 years, pitched an idea. It was bad, generic, the kind of safe, boring concept that wouldn't offend anyone but wouldn't excite anyone either. Diana listened politely. Then she said, Warren, what do you think? The room went quiet. No one expected her to ask me. I was the most junior person in the meeting. Honestly, I said, always. I think it's too safe. We're launching a product that's supposed to be disruptive. The campaign should reflect that. This feels like something our competitors would do. We need to be bolder. Greg bristled. Bold is risky. We can't afford to alienate customers. We also can't afford to bore them, I said. Diana looked between us. Then she said, Warren's right. We need to take a risk. Greg, I appreciate the concept, but let's go back to the drawing board. I want something that makes people stop scrolling. Greg looked pissed, but he nodded. After the meeting, 2 people approached me. One congratulated me. The other warned me that I'd just made an enemy. That afternoon, Diana called me into her office. You made Greg angry, she said. I know. I'm sorry if I overstepped. Don't apologize. You were right. His idea was terrible. I've been trying to tell him that for years, but he doesn't listen. Maybe hearing it from someone else will help. Or maybe he'll just hate me. Probably both. She smiled. But that's not why I called you in here. Why did you? I'm putting you on the product launch. Lead coordinator. You'll report directly to me. Are you serious? Do I look like I'm joking? No, but that's a huge project. There are people with more experience, and none of them had the guts to tell Greg his idea was bad. You did. That tells me you care more about the work than about playing politics. That's what I need. Thank you. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Over the next month, I worked harder than I'd ever worked in my life. The product launch campaign consumed everything. Late nights, weekends, endless revisions. But Diana was there every step of the way, reviewing concepts, giving feedback, pushing me to be better. And slowly, something remarkable happened. We became a team, not boss and subordinate, a team. She'd send me a draft at 11 p.m. I'd send back notes at midnight. She'd revise and send it back at 1 a.m. We'd go back and forth until it was perfect. One night, 2 weeks before the launch, we were both in the office at 10 p.m. Everyone else had gone home. I walked to her office, knocked. Come in. I think we're done, I said. The campaign is ready. She looked up from her laptop. Show me. I pulled up the final deck on her screen. We went through it together. Every slide, every word, every image. When we finished, Diana leaned back in her chair. It's good, really good. We sat in silence for a moment. Then Diana said, When I first started managing people, I thought the goal was to be respected, to be the smartest person in the room, to never show weakness, and that worked, for a while. I got promoted, I got power, but I also got isolated. You don't seem isolated anymore. I'm not, and that's because of you. Me? You saw me at my worst. And instead of using it against me, you just treated me like a person, And that reminded me that I don't have to be perfect all the time, that it's okay to be human. You're one of the smartest, most capable people I know. But yeah, you're also human. There's no shame in that. Thank you, Warren, for everything. Thank you for giving me a chance. The product launch happened on a Tuesday. The campaign went live at 9 a.m. By noon, it had 500,000 impressions. By 5 p.m., it was trending on Twitter. The CEO sent an email to the entire company praising the marketing team, specifically mentioning Diana and me by name. That night, Diana took the team out for drinks. Fancy rooftop bar, company card. People were celebrating, laughing. Someone gave a toast to Diana, another to me. I stayed for an hour, then I left. I don't like crowds. As I was heading to the elevator, Diana caught up with me. Leaving already? Yeah. Not really my scene. Mine either, but I have to stay. Boss duties. I understand. Warren? Yeah? I'm proud of you. You did incredible work on this. So did you. We made a good team. We did. She smiled. See you Monday. See you Monday. 6 months passed. The product launch was a massive success. The company's revenue grew by 18% that quarter. I got promoted. Senior Marketing Manager, a title I'd never thought I'd have at 29. Diana got promoted too. Chief Marketing Officer. And through it all, we stayed close. Not in a way that anyone could gossip about. We weren't dating. We weren't inappropriate. But we were friends. Real friends. The kind of friends who grab lunch when one of us is having a bad day, who text each other stupid memes at 2 a.m., who know each other's coffee orders and remember each other's birthdays. It was unexpected, unorthodox, but it was real. 1 year after the parking lot incident, Diana invited me to dinner. Not a work dinner, a real dinner, nice restaurant, just the two of us. I met her at 7 p.m. She was already there, sitting at a corner table. She'd ordered wine. You're not going to get drunk and make me take you home again, are you? I joked as I sat down. She laughed. No promises. We ordered food, talked about work, about life, about everything. Then, over dessert, Diana said, Warren, I need to tell you something. That sounds ominous. It's not. At least I hope it's not. She paused. A year ago, you saved me. Not just from driving drunk. You saved me from myself, from the loneliness, from forgetting that it's okay to let people in. Diana, you don't have to. Let me finish. You know what? You are right. I already thanked you a lot of times. We laughed and then sat in comfortable silence. Then Diana raised her glass. To honesty and to not pretending. I raised mine. To honesty. And to friends who see us at our worst and stick around anyway. We clinked glasses. Have you ever seen someone powerful at their most vulnerable? Or had a relationship change completely because someone chose honesty over pretending? Share your story in the comments below. If this story about unlikely friendships, breaking corporate masks, and people who choose to be real in a world that rewards fake touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more meaningful stories every day. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss our next inspiring tale. Thanks for watching.